Hello, Aaron. We had a pretty sprawling lesson today. If by today, I mean last time I saw you. Um, some of the things we talked about are what chords are in a key, and just being able to begin to deductive reason to, what key is the song in, what chords might I put together, what might happen next in the song, and so forth. We were using G, for example, and just the G major scale right here. Blah, 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 blah. So you've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. And then we have this sequence of chords we follow with that, working off each root note, every note in the scale, where 1, 4, and 5 are major, and the rest are all minor. Sounding like 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, and then we get to the 4 chord and 5 chord, the 6 chord, which is also called relative minor, and is the most likely to be in progressions other than 1, 4, 5 would be relative minor, the 6th chord. Then we go and you may find some online theory stuff that says that the 7th chord is a diminished chord. That might be true from like a classical music perspective, but functionally in rock songs, we do have songs that go like, which is me just going, and that's how it functions in our language. So just there you go. The lowercase Roman numerals are minor, so we're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. And we saw that that would work for C too here. Just going these are the notes. So and that'll be no sharps, no flats. So it's like going C, D minor, E minor. And we get to the 4 and 5 chord. And the 6th chord, A minor, is a very good, obvious visual example of relative major, relative minor. And sure enough, both chords contain A, C, E only. Have a lot of notes in common, which would be the short version of what does relative major, relative minor mean. And I know you want to understand everything that's going on. That's a long-term project, but we're going to add some significant layers here. Cool. So, and you can do it with bar chords too, just going and so on up the neck. Do it for a couple common keys. We're doing it in first position as much as possible because you're likely to be playing rhythm guitar in first position. Other stuff we talked about was using the major pentatonic. Right now you know how to play a blues scale minor pentatonic where you use your pinky here, which is totally jacked like we talked about. We're totally in a modality where my middle and ring finger are attached. And then when I get to here, I want to be able to bend or slide forward, be on the strong finger. So it's not about being efficient. And this isn't something you're supposed to do in thumb behind the neck position. So the more attention you can put to how you hold the guitar before you start playing, the better for your next several practice sessions. I'm sure you would agree. Hey, so there we go. There's a song in C major. It's just like, it kind of sounds lame to just do that. Alright, so here's the note C on the 6th string. If I put my pinky on C and just play all 9 pentatonic one notes, it sounds perfect. There we go. That is the stereo instructions. Those are the stereo instructions for what if a song's in a major key and I want to use number 1 blues box, pentatonic blues box. You're used to, this is an A minor pentatonic. Again, A minor, just A, not A flat now, you sure A minor pentatonic. And the stereo instructions for that, for blues or a heavy rock song or a classic rock song, and then put your first finger on the note and play this stuff right here. Now the stereo instructions for the A major pentatonic, I'm just going A to D. Has me put my pinky on there. And sure enough, it sounds good. A moment ago we were playing the C major pentatonic, which does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just going up and down that, you get my girl. So the A minor pentatonic is the C major pentatonic. It's like context one, A song. I put my first finger, A minor song, A rock song. I put my first finger on there and I rock out. It sounds like the blues. Context two, C major campfire song, C major chord changes song, pinky on C. Play it exactly the same fret, doing exactly the same stuff. Really not that heady a concept. And sure enough, we see that these notes have the same. It's literally the same notes with C major and A minor, just like C major and A minor. Another thing we talked about are triads. The notes that actually make up major and minor chords are first, thirds, and fifths, as in 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5, which is this thing that you've already been doing right there. Like I'm going G, B, D, and sure enough, G, B, D, G, D, G, or, it works. And we also, so then we learned a way to do this as a shape. For instance, the A major triad, where I'm going pinky on A, 5th fret, 4th fret under it, and right there, instead of boom, 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 5th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret. Take your time and find that. If you get confused, you're not actually confused. 5th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret. And that's the 1, 2, 3, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 note. Cool, so this is an A major triad, and it's telling us that an A major chord has A, C sharp, and E, and sure enough it does. And new info for you this week was that a minor triad, switching to a minor key, no longer bright but dark, just has a flatted or lowered third. So again, the 1, 2, 3, we just back that up 1 fret, and all of a sudden it goes from apple pie to dark. Cool. So there you go. And like we were saying, that's A, C, and D. Sure enough, A, E, A, C, E from playing A minor. A question you had was, it certainly doesn't go that you switch scales as the chord changes occur, even in songs with long changes, as long as they do something that resembles stay in the same key, let alone actually stay in the same key. Going back to back to our major pentatonic, we also talked about how we can just go for a super easy way to play the major scale on the high strings, on the G string, on 5, 7, strong fingers, easy fingering, 5, 6, 8, 5, 7, 8. We look at that, and a moment ago we were playing the C major scale the way that you already know too, and this is right out in front of it, adjacent to it. That works when I'm starting on the 5th string here, but it wouldn't if I was starting in G here, that same finger, because when we add the B string, all bets are off with moving up and down as it's tuned differently than all the other ones. But yeah, and that is contained in your number 1 pentatonic box. So whether you're in a minor key, you can throw those notes in, or a major key. So just speaking to what are some of the notes we add other than playing major pentatonic, which is your new best friend for I Am Noodling Over songs. And we also talked about how it's a very reasonable question to ask your friends who are ahead of you structurally with jamming. What are the chords to this song? What was the second chord? What's going on? Those are very normal questions, or even somebody who could figure it out quickly would ask just to save time. Awesome. So all of these G chords, back to what chords are in a key, they all contain only scale tones. What does scale tone mean? It means an actual note from the G major scale. All of these chords, if we went through and looked at them one at a time, only have notes that were these ones right there, However, there you go. That's what's up. That it works, and so forth. So song in G, you now have I do this stuff, and I do this stuff, and then now, fortunately, you have 12th fret, G right there where the fretboard starts over. And anyhow, we're kind of just saying the same thing over and over, paying attention to technique and so forth. I think we discussed a bunch of crucial concepts, but basically just the same ones about how to hold the guitar and the angle we're holding it at, and positioning your hand for little strums, not anything like this. Any other technical minutiae that we got into, I have to admit, not recalling, but I think for starts, that's a decent amount of stuff to work on. And on the other hand, aside from the portion where you go through some common keys and figure out what chords are in it, the rest isn't that time consuming to practice. It's just something to add visually to your understanding of the fretboard. I cannot emphasize enough, do not turn these into songs, the scales, the chord progressions. You can break rhythm. Stay in your conscious, focused headspace when you're doing something for the first time, and don't turn it into a thing that loops over and over again when you're actually just learning the dance steps so you can do fun stuff with it for the rest of your life rather than going cart before the horse, which is what everybody does intuitively. Just play the whole thing, will get better. Cool, man. So, but before we get to like PTSD from you just heard a bunch of stuff, that's all pretty workable. If you just, we're basically like, look, you can play what chords are in a key, 1, 4, 5, are major, everything else is minor. And then we have a new weapon for major key songs, pinky on the root, play your pentatonic stuff. And we also talked a good deal about, the position we're in when we're bending, where it's like our middle finger and first finger are attached so that we can bend. We're not the inventor of the pinky bend, and this isn't something done in this position. When we're playing this thumb position, clutch, we're either playing like first position chords, rock stuff, and then when do we use classical thumb position, dead center, bar chords, stuff with reaches in it, 4-finger playing like our major scale, anywhere in between, a little bit dodgy. Cool. Please let me know if there's something else we went over that you want to discuss, but between mapping what chords are in a key, which when you're doing it, you're not trying to, it's not implied that you're meant to memorize the entire sequence for G, though you probably could. This is going to keep coming up over and over again as songs in G contain those same. And you'll notice when there's a chord from outside that key. Alright, bro, I will see you in 2 weeks. I'll get in touch about how we're going to handle travel. Excuse me, I appreciate you coming and picking me up at the office. Since I don't have Justin actually, how does 5 p.m. work? I'll include that in the email, 5:30 or something. Alright, man. Cheers.